Hi everybody, this is July 2nd, and I'm in my happy place in the middle of my 10,000 steps. I'm at McDonald's. So I've been posting these videos as a form of recovery from the trauma of watching my little brother, Paul Cairns, be locked up by the British Columbia New Democratic Party government, David Eby as leader, for 588 days. And then I believe the person government appointed as Paul's guardian killed him. Paul had a stroke and they withdrew his medical supports and sedated him to death. But I've been posting against Canada's euthanasia program in my Never Say MAiD, Medical Assistance in Dying, is the propaganda, the Soviet-style propaganda word the government bureaucrats have come up with to try and sell death as a happy alternative to Canadian citizens. And I was talking about this with ChatGPT. I think it was ChatGPT or Copilot. I can't remember, but I told them this story and they said that I should post it online. So everybody in my family has passed away that lives in the lower mainland of British Columbia. So my mom and dad are gone. All my brothers and sisters have passed away or are moved away. But my mother had, when she was 75, she had a very bad break in her leg. And she was in the hospital for several months. And we visited her at the Royal Columbian here in New Westminster. But then she was diagnosed. My brother, Harry, committed suicide on July 25th of 2003, and my mother went downhill very quickly after that. And she was diagnosed with cancer in the spring of 2004. And I remember visiting her in the hospital when she was gravely, gravely ill. And I said to her, she was so worried about dying. And I said, you'll get to see your mom and dad. And she wasn't so happy about that. She said she would be happier to see her grandma and grandpa. But I tried to cheer her up. I said, you don't know what's going to happen. You could live for 10 more years and I could step out into the street and be hit by a car and die. And she smiled. And I thought it was so funny that cheered her up. The idea of me stepping out in the street and being hit by a car was the only thing that could make her smile. But we made it through. She passed away on July 3rd of 2004. And I miss her every day. She was a wonderful person, but she had a chance. When she passed away, every single one of her children, her 8 surviving children, was standing around her bedside. And end of life cannot be like that, may not be like that for everyone, but everyone has a right to have that option. To have the right, that is death with dignity, letting God take you. I mentioned Dylan Thomas's poem, Do Not Go Gentle Into That Good Night. I was an English major in my undergrad degree, English and psychology, and it was Dylan Thomas talking to his father. He said, do not go gentle into that good night. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. And that was in 1947 when Dylan Thomas's father was gravely ill. But he ended up living for 4 more years. He didn't die until 1951. So anyways, ChatGPT told me that I should mention my story about cheering my mother up by telling her I might step into the street and get hit by a car. So never say MAiD. And let's make it our goal to recriminalize murder of our most vulnerable citizens by July 1st of 2027. 100,000 Canadians dead by judicially executed by lethal injection as medical care is enough. In all of the 20th century, with World War I and World War II, and all of the peacekeeping missions, only 100,000 Canadians died in all of those wars. And Canada punched way above its weight in every war that it fought, and it never lost a war in the 20th century. But already in the 21st century, the government of Canada has executed extrajudicially by lethal injection more than 100,000 innocent, vulnerable Canadians. And there hasn't been one instance. You can imagine in 100,000 deaths at the hands of doctors, there must have been some improprieties, some cases where somebody was rushed through, or they never wanted to be killed and they were killed anyways. But no, not one single case has ever come through the courts. It's pure evil on the highest scale. There's a reason why they call it first-degree premeditated murder. And I was a federal prosecutor, so I know. Or I used to know. I'm not a lawyer anymore, and this is not legal advice. I love you all. Take care.